Welcome to our conversation on Indigenous procurement, sourcing for impact. Today joining me is Donald Betts, this acting CEO of Kinaway, and we will be going through just questions about Indigenous procurement and how can you help and make changes to your businesses with sourcing for impact.
My name is Donald Betts. I am the acting CEO here at Kinaway Chamber of Commerce. Marion, I just want to thank you so much for inviting me into your conversation, bringing you and your team to the Kinaway Chamber of Commerce to check out our Kinaway shop and our new hub and the things that we're doing for our members. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have that conversation with you today. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we meet today and pay my respects to their elders past and present, and to all elders, your elders as well in the Torres Straits and all over Australia and throughout the world, where we have First Nations representing in this dynamic time for First Nations people.
Fantastic, same. And I'd like to acknowledge everyone who's watching today, all of our elders past and present, and all of our future Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders who are making a difference in this world today. Thank you. A little introduction. My name's Marion Olen. I'm a proud Islander woman and I'm working for Jobsbank. We help with social procurement if you need any assistance in your business or, well, anything at all. With diversity and inclusion, we're here to help. But we also need Kinaway's help to help us on our journey, because we need you to help when we need Indigenous businesses.
Thank you. You know, Kinaway is the certifying body for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders and businesses in Victoria. So what we do, we work hand in hand with our businesses, pair them with the right corporate partners, with the hope that those businesses and those corporate partners can work together to create the first paint company. If you checked out of our store earlier today, you would have seen paint cans of a paint called Jigga Jigga Paint. It's the first Aboriginal paint company, a joint venture with Hames Paints, the oldest family paint company in Australia. So we are doing some amazing things in this space. I don't know if you've seen the carpets and the rugs around the place. That's a joint venture between Dreamtime Flooring and Godfrey Hirst. The first joint venture Godfrey Hirst has entered into in 100 years.
That's
so
amazing.
when you see leadership in this space, you get excited. That, you know, to see that the First Nations of not only in Australia, but particularly Australia, are doing some amazing things with their products and services.
Fantastic, fantastic. So when people come to Kinaway, can you explain, how does an Indigenous business get registered with Kinaway?
So we have a memberships team. And then our memberships, first off, the interested party or the individual wanting to apply for membership or the business wanting to apply for membership will apply through our website. And there will be a series of questions that they're asked through the website. You have to provide a confirmation of Aboriginality. You have to show that your business is based in Victoria. And you have to show that you are the 51% owner and operator of the business. One thing we want to stay away from is the black cladding. I know we've heard about black cladding all over the nation, yes. On television. A lot of Aboriginal companies and individuals are being used because of their Aboriginality to win contracts and apply for registrations such as that at Kinaway. Kinaway is very stringent, I'll tell you. You just have to be patient with us because our board does not want to tread down the line of registering a black cladded business. We found that, individuals have been brought on to a joint venture and end up having to pay up to $800,000 to the ATO because they had no involvement in the business. They were trapped. They were used in order to win a few contracts. So if you hit the prime criteria to become a certified business in Victoria, you will be receive a membership to Kinaway Chamber of Commerce, which is, I think, an amazing membership. If I was an Aboriginal person, I would love to have a membership at Kinaway.
Fantastic. And what are the unseen benefits to non-Indigenous businesses when they choose to partner with Indigenous suppliers? How does this transform their organizational culture?
Well, for a non-Aboriginal business wanting to engage with an Aboriginal business, the possibilities are limitless, right? The federal government has a program called the IPP, the Indigenous Procurement Policy, where a non-Aboriginal business working with an Indigenous business can really utilize the 3% spend on federal government contract. But beyond that, it's the social procurement that business will take over and help and assist Aboriginal companies to be self-determined and self-sufficient, creating generational wealth 7 generations deep. That's what we really want. We really want to work together so that we all win at this economic development space. We all are growing with each other, collaborating, doing great things, and representing Australia, and representing this nation, and being the beacon of light and the leaders of the world on how you engage with your Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander, your First Nations communities.
What are some benefits businesses get from working with Indigenous suppliers beyond just hitting the social procurement targets in Victoria?
Making a difference. I mean, the difference that a major contract can make for an Aboriginal business can change whole communities, and that's exciting for me when I see companies like Dreamtime Flooring step up to become a corporate partner, not only a member of Kinaway, but a Kinaway corporate partner, because then he's giving back significantly to his community. You have many other companies within our Deadly Black membership category that are giving back to members and helping other members be able to compete in the economic development space. But just to make that difference as a non-Indigenous business, to help an Indigenous company thrive so that they may be able to pass that torch and do the same for another Indigenous company. We often call it here at Kinaway, each one, reach one, teach one.
That's a fantastic one. Say that again so everyone can hear that again.
Each one, reach one, teach one.
That is fabulous. That's a great motto to live by. I love that. My next question is about barriers to entry. What challenges do Indigenous businesses face, such as accessing to capital and market opportunities?
Access to capital is critical. The access to capital is what can make any business, but particularly an Aboriginal business, especially when it's their first time out the gate. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders have been doing business for millennia. There are trade routes that rip throughout this country and all over the world that have the fingerprints of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander traders. But the significant fallback for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander businesses will be the access to capital, cash flow issues, not having access to the market or being pushed out or shut out of the market. Let's move beyond the targets that government sticks on a business. There may be a 3% here or a 5% there. We know corporate partners that are well beyond that 3%. We know corporates that are saying, you know what, this is our duty to give back to the first peoples of the land, especially if they want to enter into this business landscape. Let's give them access. Let's engage and collaborate together so that we can see successful Aboriginal businesses. What I've known, when I first came into this space, I would hear from non-Aboriginal folks that, Aboriginal people just live off the government. They don't want anything, or they are lazy or this and that. That's far from the truth. The folks that I deal with, they work hard every single day in order to keep the doors of their business open. But not only that, they hire Aboriginal staff. And so the stress that they have on them day in and day out to keep these doors open is unbearable. So when I come to Kinaway every day, my aim is to work hard so that I can ease that pain for our businesses. And my staff as well. We work very hard to make sure that our staff and our members are well looked after, but that our staff are equipped to serve our members to the fullest capacity. So yes, Purchase something for Aboriginal businesses. Open the doors to the market. Open your construction sites. Bring them on and let them thrive so that they can continue to serve their community the way they've always served their communities.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And it's true, it's giving them the opportunity to get in the door, because if you do, you can break down a tender. If you even just have a $100,000 tender and give an Indigenous business $20,000 of that tender to get them in the door,
right.
to show them that we can make a difference, it's a huge help. And it's proving that they can do the work.
I agree.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. With policy and regulations, how can policy regulation better support Indigenous businesses in Victoria, and what challenges do you think they face?
Well, it's just the willpower to make change.
Yes.
As a former senator from the U.S., I've been in positions where we had to quickly pass legislation, because the powers that be needed it quickly passed. But then I've been in the same situations where it wasn't as important to the powers that be, so it's slow to get through the session, and it barely makes it through the session, and maybe next year we'll get it through. It's about priorities. If this space is a priority for governments and policymakers, get it done. The U.S. has 23% procurement spend for minority and Native-owned businesses. So if we're teetering on 3% in this nation, we can do much better. And we don't have to wait till next session or the next legislative meeting to get it done. If it's a high priority, like the financial crisis or anything else, we'll get it done. So let's make First Nations economic development a priority.
That's fantastic. And that's a huge difference from one country to the other. Australia starts at 1% and goes up to 2.5, 3%, depending on what state you live in for social procurement. And the USA, did you say 23%?
23%.
For Indigenous procurement, that is a huge difference. That's absolute. That is, we will get there eventually.
I hope so.
We will. How can non-Indigenous businesses prepare themselves to engage with Indigenous suppliers in a more culturally sensitive and impactful way?
Come to Kinaway. We have a staff designated to serve our corporate partners. Ask any one of our corporate partners. We have them here regularly, meeting in our boardroom, meeting hot desking. Come to Kinaway, sit down with one of our corporate team members, and we'll walk you through that process. We'll literally hold your hand, take you and knock on the door of any of our businesses so that we can build that collaboration and that relationship. It's as easy as that. It's that priority. It's that the ability and the willingness to want to make the change, and coming to 163 Eastern Road, South Melbourne, to actually make the change.
How can businesses prepare to work better with Indigenous businesses?
Of course, come to Kinaway. Don't just watch us grow, come and grow with us. But also just keep an open mind, because a lot of our members at Kinaway, they put their heart and their soul in their product. They know the challenges up against them, that someone will criticize their product just because they're Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander. So they put 110% of their heart and soul into their products and services. So come with an open mind and know that this business is legit. This is not a charity. This is a full-on business, and they really want to do some great things. They have a dream to export globally. So Kinaway's new strategy is, go global. We've just taken the largest First Nations trade delegation in the history of Australia to the state of Kansas. 40 Aboriginal businesses. On your way out, I don't know if you came in, you saw the resolution.
Yes.
So there was a resolution signed, unanimous vote by 40 senators in the state of Kansas to say, we want to do business with Kinaway. that's saying something significant,
That's
right?
huge.
That's huge, right?
That's absolutely huge.
We've opened the door to our Global Alliance Friends of Kinaway, so every member that comes up, we raise a flag. Today, finally, we raised the United States flag. I'm really excited about that because I am an American. We've raised the Canada flag just recently, but we have Sri Lanka and Italy and Finland and New Zealand and India and a whole host of others that we're really excited about doing business with Kinaway. So really, it's all about putting the barriers down, putting those misconceptions down, and actually engaging in business with First Nations businesses.
That's fantastic. And it will be amazing to see Indigenous companies global, not just here in Australia, but making a huge difference worldwide.
Well, I have a big announcement to make. I didn't make it earlier, but Kinaway will be hosting the World Indigenous Business Forum in 2025.
Woo!
Here in
You
Melbourne.
hear it first here.
it first.
Oh my goodness,
Yes,
that's
it's
so
exciting,
exciting.
isn't it?
That's huge. That's oh my goodness. I'm so privileged to hear this first
breaking news.
breaking news right here as we sit. This is fabulous. Oh my goodness! Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
Kinaway.
Thank
It
you
will be
very
a
much.
fantastic event.
We're excited about
Yeah,
it. Yes.
make sure everyone comes and attends that because it will be huge.
It will be huge. You know how we do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing gala balls here.
Yes.
My next question is about best practices and building relationships. So, do you have any tips to establish and maintain strong relationships with Indigenous businesses?
Meet regularly, right? Kinaway has at least, I think over the last year, we average 5 events a month. But one event that we have every month is Kinaway First Fridays. So we open the chamber up from 3:30 to roughly 5:36, and we just have networking. So our corporate partners, our members, our allies, they all come here and we turn the music up, we have food, and people are just having a good time. They're lounging on the sofas, they're chilling in the chairs, and we're just having a good time looking at the art and buying the products from the Kinaway shop. It's an exciting time every first Friday. Start there. Start at some of our networking events. Show up so that you can be counted. Don't just watch us grow, come and grow with us.
Yes, and it's fantastic. I've been to one of those Fridays, well, actually a few of those Fridays, and it is fantastic. Kinaway puts on a hosting event. It's mingling, meeting and greeting. You're engaging with Indigenous businesses and seeing what they have to offer in a very casual, fun way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really enjoyed them. My next question will be, how can companies craft social procurement policies that genuinely empower and include Indigenous businesses?
I often say, if you really want a good document, if you want a document that is drafted well, make sure that you have an Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander person in the room, because they can help you walk through that process by simply asking those questions. And our team is equipped to do that as well. So engage with Kinaway. I have a dynamic number of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander staff here. And they will sit down and walk through with you, build that document so that you're not missing out on anything. I visited a company not too long ago, and they had a piece of Aboriginal art in their kitchenette. I was like, oh, wonderful. What Victorian artist did that work? And he was like, I don't know. Corporate just sent us a piece of work and we blew it up and threw it on the wall. I said, you might want to take that down before you tell anyone else. And I have a host of Aboriginal artists that are able to provide you with a piece of art that is culturally safe in this state. So before you throw a piece of art on the wall, know a little bit about it. Before you put a document together, get the right people in the room, at the boardroom table, draft something that's going to work for you.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Right. Simple thing is know who the artist is.
That's right.
Know where they come from.
Exactly.
Just a simple little thing.
Simple little thing.
Very little. Yeah, but it makes a huge difference in business.
That's right.
Yeah, you're changing lives by making one simple inquiry and going, how was this done? How was this designed?
Yes.
Does this match our business?
That's right.
Yes. Yeah, fantastic. What roles do leadership and companies' values play in fostering long-term relationships with Indigenous businesses?
Like I mentioned before, you know, companies like Hames Paints or Godfrey Hirst, Norton Rose Fulbright, Deloitte, these companies that have led the way, Octopus Investments, that have led the way to say, we're going to take a real chance and do something huge with an Aboriginal business. We're going to step up. I cut my teeth over at Norton Rose Fulbright as a litigator under Peter Cash's team. And when I first met Peter Cash, he was really excited about the joint venture between Norton Rose Fulbright and Jeremy Legal. Both principals, there's one Aboriginal, there's one Torres Strait Islander, to create the first national majority-owned Indigenous law firm in Australia.
That's
right?
huge.
That's huge, right?
That's huge.
That's leadership, right? When you have a global number 4 firm engage with an Aboriginal business to create the first major corporate firm in Australia, that is leadership. So the more we do that type of work, the more our companies say, we want to be the first. We want to, one of our big banks, we want to be the first big bank to mentor an Aboriginal bank, owned and operated bank. That's leadership. So if you really want to see a leader, see how they engage with, partners that they really don't gain any real advantage, but they want to do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. Now, this is a question that I absolutely love. This is Kinaway's success story. So, how does Kinaway measure its success? Not just in the terms of money, but I'd love to hear the amount of money it's also made, but in a positive impact to the communities and relationships that it's building along the way.
Okay. Well, I'll get the money part out of the way.
Yes, go ahead.
So Kinaway has generated over $600 million worth of procurement for our members.
That's huge.
That's huge, right?
That's huge.
It's dynamic.
Yes.
It's exciting to see when our businesses make it past that 3-year mark. When you see a business making it past that 3-year mark, you know that they're in it for the real deal.
Yes.
They've put in the long hours. They've known what it feels like to pay the employees first. They know what it feels like not to get paid at all, for the first 6 months to a year. Business is tough. So when you see an Aboriginal business start to elevate to a level where they can start paying their own way, that there is no insolvency, that they've paid their superannuations, that Credit Watch doesn't send me a signal to say, this member's in trouble. When you can see those things happening, you know that it's working,
Yes.
right? You know that Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander businesses are working. When you see Nornie from Mabu Mabu on television, I saw her the other day on a Specs ad because I buy my Specs for where they've used her in a commercial. And I'm like, that's Nornie.
Yes.
She runs Mabu Mabu, So when you see Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander business owners doing at that level of success, you just get excited. And I get excited when I see new products like the first Aboriginal paint company, Jigga Jigga Paints, or renewable energy company in Desert Springs Octopus, or Dreamtime Flooring with their carpets and rugs, and this beautiful piece by a wonderful artist in Geelong, the Salty One. I mean, beautiful, beautiful works. When you see these things placed around Victoria, you get excited, and I think that's some of the wins and successes that Kinaway can tout.
That's absolutely fantastic. It is so good to hear positive stories about Indigenous businesses, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander businesses who are making a change. And everyone who lives in Melbourne, Victoria needs to go to the CBD and go to Mabu Mabu because it is one of the most best restaurants that I've tasted quality food
Absolutely.
at. It's so good. So what are our main takeaways from today? Understanding Indigenous businesses, challenges and best practices, building relationships and success. I would like to thank Donald Betts for being our guest speaker today and joining me and talking about Indigenous procurement and sourcing for impact. I would like to end this event with asking 2 questions. What's one simple thing you can do tomorrow to support an Indigenous business? I'd like you to sleep on that and have a good hard think. What's one simple thing you can do tomorrow? My second question is, what is one step everyone can take tomorrow to start their journey in Indigenous procurement? Have a good hard think about that. You have Kinaway here to support you, and Jobsbank can support you on your way as well with anything you need. Thank you so much, Donald.
Thank you very much.